Bretton Woods System, 1945 to 1972, named for a 1944 meeting of 44 nations at Bretton Woods, New Hampshire. It refers to an agreement negotiated by 703 delegates from 44 countries in July 1944, where currencies were pegged to the United States dollar. The purpose was to design a post-war international monetary system. The goal or the purpose of the system was to build an enduring economic order that would facilitate post-war economic growth. The goal was exchange rate stability without the gold standard. Bretton Woods envisioned an international monetary system that would ensure rate stability, prevent competitive devaluations, and promote economic growth. The result of the Bretton Woods system was the creation of the International Monetary Fund, or the IMF, and the World Bank. The IMF maintained order in monetary system. It is an international organization that promotes global economic growth and the financial stability, encourages international trade, and reduces the poverty. The World Bank promotes general economic development. It is an international organization dedicated to developing nations to aid their economic development. It promotes long-term economic development and poverty reduction by providing technical and financial support to help countries implement reforms, such as providing water and electricity, building schools, and protecting the environment and others. The features of Bretton Woods system. Under the Bretton Woods system, the US dollar was pegged to gold at $35 per ounce, and other currencies were pegged to the US dollar. US dollar was an intervention currency as it was directly convertible into gold, and other currencies were convertible into gold through US dollar. Each country was responsible for maintaining its exchange fixed rate within 1% of the adopted par value by buying or selling foreign reserves as necessary. Fixed parity system linked the value of currencies with a fixed amount of gold or US dollar. Adjustable peg value means a devaluation or upward revaluation of a currency. The Bretton Woods system was a dollar-based gold exchange standard. A nation under the gold exchange standard is thus available to keep its currency at parity with gold without having to maintain as large a gold reserve as required under the gold standard.
The demise of the Bretton Woods system. In the early post-war period, the US government have FTO provide dollar reserves to all countries who wanted to intervene in their currency market. The increasing supply of dollar worldwide made available through programs like the Marshall Plan meant that the credibility of the gold backing of the dollar was in question. US dollar held abroad grew rapidly, and this represented a claim on US gold stock and cast some doubt on the US ability to convert dollars into gold upon request. The world moved from gold standard to a dollar standard, from Bretton Woods to the Smithsonian Agreement. Growing increased the amount of dollars printed further eroded faith in the system and the dollar's roles as a reserve currency. By 1973, the world had moved to search for a new financial system, one that no longer relied on worldwide system of pegged exchange rate. Smithsonian Agreement. An agreement reached by a group of 10 countries, in other words, G10, in 1971 that effectively ended the fixed exchange rate system established under the Bretton Woods Agreement. The Smithsonian Agreement re-established an international system of fixed exchange rate without the backing of silver or gold, and allowed for the devaluation of the US dollar. This agreement was the first time in which currency exchange rates were.
We are finally closer to the end of this lesson. And now, I'll be discussing the flexible exchange rate regime. The flexible exchange rate regime was declared acceptable to the IMF member. In 1976, it was formally ratified by IMF members through the Jamaica Agreement. Central banks were allowed to intervene in the exchange rate markets to iron out unwarranted volatilities. To guard against unwarranted fluctuation, the agreement stipulated that central banks of respective countries should intervene in the exchange market. Gold was abandoned as an international reserve asset, which resulted the currency are no longer backed by gold. The Plaza Accord envisaged the depreciation of the dollar against most major currency to solve U.S. trade deficit problems in 1985. Now, let's talk about the current exchange rate agreement, which are the free float, managed float, pegged to another country, and no national currency. In free float, this was the largest number of countries, about 48. Here, they allow market forces to determine their currency's value, while in managed float, about 25 countries. Here, combined government intervention with market forces set exchange rates. In pledge to another country, their currency is US dollar, euro, and etc. And lastly, in no national currency, here, they do not bother print their own. They just use the US dollar like in Ecuador, Panama, and have dollarized. Thank you.
And that concludes our presentation. Thank you so much for taking the time to listen.